Hey, what's up guys? Ravenclaw here and welcome to the PTR. Now, what we're doing, we're in a dungeon and we're testing the new trinkets, okay? And I checked to make sure we all had one. Two of us had the legendary one and the other three had just your standard ones. And I just highlighted a buff up in the top right corner right there. And what that is the combination of all our trinkets proccing, our primary stat proccing, and we got empowered. Now that's what we want to talk about in this video. Other than that, we want to talk about how we can equip 3 legendaries now, which is awesome, and just how these trinkets work and what has changed since they were released. I just show you right now that what the legendary trinket looks like. I will link these on the screen in a bit so you can see the stats. Now, one thing I just want to let you know, on the PTR, everything gets scaled down to 830 and your level gets scaled up to 110 just for testing purposes, okay? So the damage that you see on the screen and that doesn't reflect the end game is what we'll have. Just wanted to let you guys know if you guys are talking about any damage and stuff. The other thing, someone did mention what a hunter's like on the PTR at the moment, and I did mention that we are still doing fine. We are still very viable, especially with these new trinkets and gear. I believe that we will still be in the game. You'll see in one of the boss fights that I just unleash everything and I just destroy the DPS meter. And I did check we were all on the same sort of gear level, like just generally, not scaled down. Okay, so let's talk about the trinkets. What are they? Now, these trinkets are Pantheon trinkets, which are acquired by Argus, the Unmaker, in the new raid. But they can only be acquired from normal, heroic, and mythic. So these trinkets are 940 eye level, and they bring unique primary buffs to the user. There is also a legendary one, which you saw just previously in the video. This gives you pretty much a buff to all your primary stats and also increases your main stat, which is for us agility by 6, I think it's 6,000 and stuff. Here is where they work together. What has to happen is, for example, we've got the tank, we've got 2 DPS, we've got myself, things like that. My primary stat has to proc. Then, like you see right in the top hand corner now, that blue buff, that's my trinket's primary buff procced. Now we need the others to proc in alignment with mine. Now here's the change. The beginning of the PTR, they had to have 6 trinkets proc in order to be empowered, and only those 6 people that contributed to that empowerment will get that. So for example, if say all us 5, say 6 people procced and then a 7th person procced while these other guys were empowered, they would miss out. What happened though was this would not help smaller raid groups or mythics or anything like that, because we don't have 6 people in a mythic. So they reduced it to 4 people. Here's where I'm at with this. Okay, we'll talk about other things in a sec. The proc rate got reduced. So what does this mean? This means the RNG factor comes into play and it becomes very sporadic. As you'll see in these fights, we don't proc much at all, and I don't believe we get an empowerment on any of these bosses. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay? You'll notice the buff which I highlighted at the beginning of this video. The proc rate is very small. They seem to proc on just anything randomly, because for example, we pulled the trash at the beginning of the raid, the dungeon, and we all got empowered. And once again, between these bosses we were getting empowerments, but when we got to the boss, because of the RNG factor within that minute, it wasn't helping us when we needed it. So that to me doesn't seem very good. Okay, now just going back to the eye level. The level of these trinkets are all 940. Doesn't matter if you get it on mythic or normal. The way to increase these is to get Pantheon's blessing from Argus. This will give you Argus the Undead, the boss. This will give you a 5 level increase to the trinket of your choice. Okay. Now the legendary only drops from Argus the Undead, I believe, the Unmaker, I believe from Heroic and Mythic. I could be wrong, okay? I'll have to double check, but it could be on normal as well. This is already at 1000, so you have a chance to upgrade your other trinkets as you go. Now, here's the thing. that trinket, the legendary trinket, doesn't go against our 2 legendary limit, therefore allowing us to have 3 legendaries, which is pretty cool. But you cannot have 2 Pantheon trinkets at the same time, like our legendary and another one. That's the limit, which is still kind of cool because we have 3 legendaries, just can't have 2 Pantheon trinkets, otherwise that would be OP as hell. Now you notice I had the buff meter up here because I wanted to track when did anybody get empowered, and we didn't. So I want your opinion. What do you guys think about this whole having the whole team have to be procced to be buffed and all that stuff? I don't think it's going to be a very good thing because you don't have control over the empowerment. You just don't know when it's going to happen, so you can't really time your fights. Yeah, I'd love to start a discussion on this. Okay, now apart from reducing the amount of people who have to proc and the time, the whole concept of these is kind of cool. I guess it's more like, the one thing it reminds me of is the I guess you could say like Power Rangers, where they all have to, like, you know, empower themselves with their their gadgets so they can call Megatron or whatever the hell the robot was called. But we have no control, and that's where I'm at, and I don't like that idea. Other than that, we have got the new mechanic to upgrade our current legendaries to 1000, same as we've already got, to go from 940 to 970. When you do start the first dungeon, you get a quest that handed into Dalaran, and then allows you to collect the new currency. Same, nothing different there. The whole idea of this video was to outline the current trinkets as they are. One, they do bring some nice buffs and nice utility to our class, but the overall idea that you have to wait for a random proc from all of those 4 people, then you have people that will miss out, then you don't know when it's going to proc, so you can't time bursts and things like that, isn't that great to me. Okay, now this is as it is on the PTR now. Obviously things may change, take it as you will. There's been a lot of testing been done by some other raiders on the PTR, and they've done the same thing on the proc rate and how many times you can do it. Now the last thing I want to talk about is they did change the fact that any trinkets now can cause this to proc. So if I have, say, the legendary and someone else has the legendary, before it would only count as the legendary, one trinket of one type, the other trinket of another type, other trinket of another type. You needed those to coincide for these empowerment. What they did change, which is I guess a good thing, is to allow, for example, like 3 hunters that have the same trinket. Those 3 will count to the empowerment, and then the legendary would be like a wild card, or so on and so forth. That's pretty cool. But yeah, other than that, there's nothing else that's really changed to our class or anything like that. I'll keep you up to date with all the goings on the PTR. I just wanted to talk to you guys about the new trinket system, and I would love to hear what you guys think about it as we move forward in Legion. Other than that, guys, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this, and as always, my awesome hunters, you keep on sniping, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.